All right, everybody, welcome to class 7, the final class. This is the last part. So part 2 of tonalism, mystery, memory, imagination. And I'm just going to quickly kind of glaze into this black and white acrylic painting based on a couple images that we chose as a group. And let's just see if we can make this into something. Move the camera out of my way a little bit and let's see. So I really have no idea or intention. I just painted this in black and white acrylic painting this morning. And I'm really open to kind of just seeing what happens. But what I do want to do, and what I know, is that I want the light basically coming from behind here, radiating out. It's kind of an early morning. The light is coming over the tops of these hills, coming through these interesting trees. This, in the initial photo, as you guys know, was a parking lot, and we changed it, or I changed it into a swamp or a marshland. So what we decided during the break was, what happens if we use purple and yellow as our primary colors? And the truth is, I don't know. We've got a crazy student in our class named Gail who has done a painting using these colors. And I'm so nervous already, you can tell. I don't know if I should add my yellows first or my purples first. It's gonna get muddy, as Don just said, and I expect that, and I kind of want it because I want it to be kind of a tonalist image, but using a real interesting contrasting colors, purple and yellow, the opposite colors on the color wheel. So what do you guys think? Should I do kind of a yellow wash or a purple wash to start us off?
Yellow first.
Okay, so I'm going to use a transparent earth yellow. And I'm going to go ahead and mix a little bit of the Hansa yellow light into it. So you can kind of see it's very warm, goldy yellow. Gail, what have you done?
Let the process work.
And you're using a little bit of medium, Michael?
A little bit, yeah. There's a tiny bit of, I don't know if you can see it over here, but there's a little bit of the Galkid gel.
And is that a canvas or a board?
This is a board.
And is that over acrylic?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Is that over acrylic or was it oil?
Yeah, no, this is an acrylic underpainting that I did this morning. Ideally, I would have let it dry for about 24 hours. So when you buy it, now you know. Might fall apart, but
Now I'm assuming you're going to wipe away some of that yellow.
that's wasting paint, Gail.
I know.
Grab a paper towel, move that around a little bit. Turn off the light so you guys can see it a little better.
Yeah, that's better.
Wow.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Again, now I'm painting in a dark room and I have to look at my monitor to paint, but that's fun. So again, ideally what I would do is just let this paint sit for a couple minutes so that it's staining, it's sinking in. And but let's just see what happens if I just keep painting. So I'm going to take some of this. We were going to use dioxazine purple, but I don't have it. So we're using cobalt violet, which I hope is a transparent color, but I couldn't, can't read the label. So let's just see what happens. That's interesting, right?
Looks transparent, doesn't it?
Yes, it is. It's transparent.
Ooh, I kind of like it.
See?
I'm scared to turn on my lights, but yeah. And interesting. So I'm thinking about where's my light source, right? And I'm thinking about that this diet, well, whatever purple I just put on there is a little bit cooler than the yellow for sure. Right? So let's just focus on that light source. Let's just bring our directionality of our warms to cools. So already it's kind of interesting. I'm thinking I'm going to turn the light on because I can't actually see my surface, but already that's kind of interesting, right?
I
There's
like it.
already more depth, more a sense of glow. But I'm thinking we can push it. Let's bring in some blues. Like let's, these purples are a little warm. So let's take, I mixed both my blues, ultramarine and manganese. I'm going to bring those into the shadows a little bit, into the darks. You see how that makes the warms warmer? Sure do, Mike. Oh, cool.
It also gives it a hint of green with the yellow.
All right, so now I'm going to add a touch of red. Let's warm up some directions. So this is quinacridone red. I love how stupid it looks. You start just, I do. I love that it looks ridiculous. You got to trust Now I'm going to bring a little bit of Indian yellow into my hot spot, which again is right in here. And the reflections. All right, I'm gonna grab my big soft brush and a cleanish paper towel to make sure that it's pretty dry. And I'm gonna start in my hot spot and I'm gonna blend out. So all of these colors that I've added are transparent. And it looks like something a little bit. I'm just trying to obliterate any of the strong lines, any of those strong little marks that I made with my little color patches. I'm just kind of blending them into an area or a feeling of an area. So can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
How
it's
it just kind
beautiful.
of hopefully was creating the idea
Yes.
of
Fabulous.
it
a
is.
glow, and I'm just moving it. So I was thinking about what is the light, where is it hitting, adding the little bits of warmth. Where's the strong light reflection? A little bit darker, a little bit cooler along the edge. Now I get to take my paper towel and hopefully remove areas. And again, if I wasn't with you guys now, I'd have probably let it sit, like stain the canvas in the panel a little longer. Again, I'm thinking about the directionality of the light.
That gives it movement. Lovely.
It does, yeah. The light rays, you've got the movement of the ground, you got the movement of the creek, but you also have the movement of the atmosphere, the
Yeah.
movement of the light catching
Yeah.
the atmosphere. You got the movement of the light, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
At least you hope so.
Yes.
No, I see that.
It worked. Wow.
Ooh, that's a nice reflection.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
It's amazing.
done. It's good.
Amaze.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, sometimes with that low sun angle and it's kind of warm, it does warm up the mist.
You're right. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Let me shut the blinds a little better.
Mm. Wow.
Pretty nice. That's
Amazing.
pretty nice for a black and white underpainting.
Yeah.
Boy.
Right. And so I can come back in, like I could let this dry, or I can come back in now if I want to do wet into wet, and I can start bringing light, like reflected light from the dome of the sky into
Mm.
the top. So it's not just a silhouette of a tree,
Sure.
You know, I can bring the tops of light into here. I can bring more warmth or cool, whatever reflected color I want to do here. I'm going to turn the light back on because we'll see the colors a little more. So you can see how different it is. And that's without sounding like pretentious, I hope, is that I really like when my paintings are different under different lighting conditions. I really like when people are like, oh, I love it at, when, this lighting condition. Oh, I love it this. Or my favorite compliment I almost ever got was, I look at your painting with a cup of coffee in the morning and it's one thing, and I look at it with a cup of wine in the evening and it's a whole nother painting.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
really like that. And that's why I like the transparency, because
Mhm.
that's what it is. It's all about the light angles hitting it.
Well, I think you did such a nice job with your value study that
Yeah.
you're able to pull this off pretty quickly.
Right. And I could still just play and play and play. I could bring in my detail with opaque greens and grays and, all the colors that I want to do. But at the same time, yeah, I could almost just leave this painting.
Pretty close.
Well,
Mm.
at that time of day, even though the sun is coming up over the mountains, it's a little bit later than you'd think, but it shadows everything in the foreground. So I think it's perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
darn
would
good.
like to have been able to see how you did the acrylic underpainting to get that mistiness and the gradation of the colors, because I'm not really familiar with using acrylics that much, and I always thought it was very difficult to get that kind of separation of values
Yeah, it's
without.
really, really hard.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I did it this morning at like 5 or 6 in the morning. No, it's just wet into wet. And I only use black and white, or actually I use Payne's gray and white. And it's just a matter of creating these gradations, and then I did the background hill first. Then I did this hill about 5 minutes later because it's already starting to set up. And okay, so here's how I started. The whole painting was gray. I just painted the whole painting a mid-value gray.
Okay.
And then I designed this hill because that was the most important shape for the whole painting. Then I painted white, and then I figured out where the creek should go and did that white. And then I just came and created my variations of values. I did do the trees last. So there's a little bit of a risk, but they're good-ish. I don't know if this shape is really interesting or beautiful. It could have a little more, but I can still use my oils to fix all that.
So did you make that mistiness? You didn't wipe those away because it's acrylic, right? You used
Mm.
the white to make it misty?
Yep.
Okay.
So with
Value.
acrylics, it's not a wipe away. It's just figuring out and just, let me find my palette.
Knowing what your value,
Okay. Okay.
because the
So
value is
here's my simple little black and white acrylic palette. It's just a stay wet palette
Okay.
with a piece of paper inside. And underneath that paper is a piece of a sponge. So it stays wet forever, like for days and days. So that's all it is. I mean, that's all I used this morning.
Awesome. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
you
and
painted,
it's just, acrylics are so great because they dry so quickly that I can just step away. Like I was literally designing the class, setting up everything, and every 5 to 10 minutes, I would just go put another layer on. And then if I
Okay.
wanted like this gradation from this dark to this light, I just used a simple mister bottle, sprayed it, kept it a little bit wet, and then just took my lights into it.
Okay. Great. That helps.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk about that more in the color class, but
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, no, don't overthink it. Especially, this is what I'm really liking with acrylics, is this ability to just do these black and white underpaintings that don't look like a black and white painting in the end. They just look tonal and beautiful. And so here, let me grab a couple examples. So here, these are all going to be black and white underpaintings that I did for my client to figure out the. So this was one where I just did burnt umber only. And I really realized that burnt umber has a huge amount of values and actually makes these beautiful transparent colors, which I would have never learned. So again, black and white. Black and white. So burnt umber plus Indian yellow. It's a much hotter than it looks. Where's the other ones? With transition between manganese blue and the warm colors. So a little manganese blue on the top and the bottom, warm colors in the middle. And this one is only Indian yellow. So it's pretty amazing what a black and white underpainting can do. And then you come and just glaze it with transparent oil paintings. So this goes back to the beginning or the middle of class, I guess, when we were just talking about just experimenting, just having paintings that I'm willing to let die or to keep reworking. Like, this is way too hot. Like, this is not a sellable painting. But I think a lot of these colors with cool colors on top could be really interesting. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So with light,
Wow.
Kind of lose the color a little bit.
you lose the color, but it gets a little more muted. But
Oh, it's
again,
fabulous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
and I can change the angle of the camera so it's not so glary. Yeah, tons of fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very good. Thank you. I'm gonna have to leave, so if there's more, I'll have to pick it up with the video that you.
No, if you're leaving, I'm leaving.
We're all leaving. We have to eat.
Yeah.
Have to be someplace.
All right,
so
you guys, thank
later.
you so much.
Yeah,
Gail, I
thanks.
don't hate you
Thank
for
you.
advising purple, but you don't even see the purple in it.
I
And
think
I
Just
would have done
neutralize.
a transparent red oxide underpainting. Because the way you just painted is the way I usually paint.
Mhm.
And then just go in and touch up a little color, you know, like you said, add a little green here or there if I want, or but I generally do the transparent red oxide underpainting.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, that is definitely my main color. Burnt umber or
Yeah, a
transparent red.
combination of the two of them.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
You.
Appreciate all 7 weeks. This was an amazing group, an amazing class, and so much beautiful work. So yeah, I hope we will either see each other tomorrow or and I'll try to keep that Thursday thing going the whole break.
Hmm, okay.
Yeah, so tune in, hang out, we'll learn about whatever ornaments Linda's are making at that point. And anyways, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate all of you, and it was a ton of fun, and look forward to hopefully painting together in the winter, January 8th.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Michael,
Merry
night.
Christmas, Happy New Year, and
and see you next year.
thank you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Mm.